Man, it feels like it's been so long that I feel like I need to remember how to play this song. I guess I do. Bruins friends, you know what time it is. It is time to hug it out. Because that is a 3-0 victory over the San Jose Sharks. Welcome back into the den. This was. It's hard. It feels weird to say that a game at the end of November is a must-win game for the Bruins, but it is. It is. You know, the game against Columbus, it was so bad that I recorded that into the den in the middle of the third period. It was so bad that I was like, screw it. I am recording my thoughts now because I don't even know where to begin with these. I don't even know where I'm gonna begin with these guys is when it comes to time to actual when it comes time to deliver the autopsy on that game after it's completed. You know, after we go down 3-0, it's it feels like you might as well put it in the deep freeze. But I don't entirely think that yes, that is a very, very severe loss. Yes, but as Jack Edwards was saying before the game, losing stinks. So do smelling salts. And you know what they do? They wake you up. And that is exactly what this game was. It served as a wake-up call to the Bruins. Give us a little bit of a... I don't want to say that any opponent is easy. You know, they're in the NHL for a reason. And even they're in the NHL for a reason. And even though I want to say that this game was over before it began, I thought that against Columbus, and look where that got me. And even as we began, the game did look a little bit flat. Thankfully, it looked flat on both sides. You know, the Bruins couldn't get anything going, but on the bright side, neither could the Sharks. You know, Anthony Duclair is still a great player. Honestly, I was surprised that he'd been on 7 different teams. This was his 7th team because I always thought that he was better than what. I always thought that he was better than to be a journeyman. At least that's how he played when he was in Florida, when he scored 5 goals in his last 5 games against us. Not gonna go any further on that because, you know, we're healed. We have repressed that trauma. Let's get to it because that was last year. This is this year, and this year is a little bit different. So first period, not really anything to speak about. Second period though. Second period is when we start getting a little. Second period is when it starts getting to be a classic game between the Bruins and Sharks. As in, the Bruins start to cave in the Sharks a little bit, and the Sharks fight back, not by putting pucks in the net, but by completely just trying to they're just out for blood. Now we start out the second period really well. Danton Heinen on a really good. Danton Heinen, fantastic first goal. Not of the season, but of the game. Off a really bad Sharks clearing attempt, and it looked like our clearing attempts, which, mind you, were still not that inspiring. I still really want them to work on clearing the puck work on own zone puck management and in practice. But Heinen, and on a really bad clearing attempt from the Sharks, Patra managed to keep it in, and Heinen just right at the dot. Or rather, no, not really at the dot. He was more so at the bottom of the face-off circle, and he just puts it right past Mac Black, and that's how he started. Now, we get to now. There is one penalty in the second period that I do kind of want to talk about before we get to the other really big ones, because oh my god, the second period it was responsible for 16 of the 18 of the 16 of the 20 penalty minutes that the Sharks took, and 20 of the 22 that the Bruins took. The one that I want to talk about before we get to the laundry list of everything is the penalty that Brad Marchand took as hooking against Kyle Burroughs. And it's entirely just, and the only reason why I really bring it up is because there was a little bit of discussion as to whether it was tripping or hooking or whatever. The point is, it's still a stick penalty, and Brick was talking about it before the game, how stick penalties happen when you are not moving, when you aren't moving your legs, and you try to compensate that for that by moving your stick, and it doesn't work because you do not have a body in front of the puck to be able to properly play defense, and it ends up being dangerous for everybody involved. Again, the big thing that I will point to with playing defense with your body versus playing defense with your stick is the Austin Watson goal in the game against Tampa, where Mason Lohrei, God bless him, Mason Lohrei is going to be a great defenseman, and this is not the first, and this is not the only time that we're going to see him this season. He is going to get a call back up probably whenever somebody gets injured again. I don't know who it is. I really don't want anyone to get injured, but this is not the last that we're going to see of Lohrei. But on that goal, he's just standing next to the net and waving his stick in front of the passing lane instead of getting right in front of it and choking off the passing lane and forcing Austin and forcing Jarnik to make a different play than right to Austin and Watson. And that is part of how we lost the game against Tampa. Anyway, a little bit later on, we get. You know how I've been complaining about the Bruins not playing, not having a game plan for the lob to the end of the neutral zone. To be fair, not many teams have a plan for that because when you have the puck in the neutral zone, you don't typically have someone back in your zone as backup unless you're running like a 1-3-1. I don't entirely know how that scheme works, to be honest. But you don't typically have someone back there to help you, and it's how the Bruins have allowed goals on that lob pass to the end of the neutral zone. But this time, we used it to our advantage. I think it was Pasta who. Actually, no. I think it might have been DeBrusque who lobbed it up to Pasta. Pasta entered, stalled on for a little bit of time, and got it to Zacha. I think Zaka shot it on goal, and then DeBrusque was DeBrusque caught the rebound for his fourth goal of the season. And who says that he's in the slump? Like I said, DeBrusque is kind of a streaky player. He's always been a streaky player, and I don't think that that's necessarily going to change. We know what he is at this point. But when he's on a and yes, it is frustrating whenever he's not 100%. But whenever he's on a heater, you know, and it makes sense this time, especially because Monty did the last thing that I thought Monty did the last thing that he could have done. And it's something that I didn't think, and it's something that I thought he had already tried doing, but not like this. Instead of shuffling the bottom six, Monty decides to shuffle the top six. You know, we've been having the top line be Marshy, Zaka, Pasta. Second line be either DeBrusque or JVR, Patra, Heinen. This time, top line, DeBrusque, Zaka, Pasta. Second line in Martian, Patra, Heinen. And both of those lines tonight, fantastic. I still think that the Coyle line played out of their minds tonight. And I still think that Coyle is pound for pound our best player right now. With how he's playing. But my God, those top two lines, incredible. And now we get to the fun part. Oh my God. Okay. This one, this first part is a little bit interesting because it's what is it? Kyle Burrows goes for high sticking Matt Patra, but honestly, the thing that's really weighing on everyone is Giovanni Smith's boarding against Brad Marchand. Now, I know that we won, and it's not really that kosher to complain about the officiating in a game that you won. But my God, Giovanni Smith had a running start into Brad Marchand, and pushed him into the boards. And it's there at the numbers. That I think honestly, with that sort of intent, I can't really help but feel that should be that should probably be a little bit more than just a minor. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Looking at this now, the main thing that I'm looking at here is just the fact that Giovanni Smith got called for boarding Brad Marchand, and like 5 minutes later, McAvoy got called for boarding Ryan Carpenter. Now, the difference between McAvoy's boarding on Carpenter and Smith's boarding on Marchand is that McAvoy was already gearing up for the hit, and Carpenter just happened to turn his back to McAvoy. I don't entirely know what McAvoy was supposed to do there, but at the same time, that is still technically an illegal hit. But come on. But also, we won, so I'm not really going to put too much frustration into it. But what I'm going to be very, very happy about is that we finally have the Freddy Fight Club back. Let's go! Now, Freddy, about 5 minutes after the Marchand getting boarded incident, he drops the gloves with Giovanni Smith. I gotta say, this was kind of a tie. Giovanni had had Freddie's number in the first half, and then Freddie just rallied back. But we're not gonna act like that we're not gonna act like that the first half of that fight didn't happen. Well, Freddie still kind of got his ass beat in the first half of that. But we end up. Freddie ends up going for fighting, and so does Giovanni Smith. And then the McAvoy hit on Carpenter happens, and McAvoy goes for boarding, and then we get, and then Marchand fights Fabian Zetterlund. And I don't entirely know what Zetterlund did in here, but at the same time, I feel like the roughing call that Marchand got here was really just in service of an instigator penalty. I don't seriously. I don't understand why the instigator penalty even exists. I think at that point you should just call it a roughing penalty. But yeah, but the thing is, both of these happen with 30 seconds left in the period. So McAvoy's going for a minor of boarding against Ryan Carpenter. Marchand is going for 5 minutes for fighting Fabian Zetterlund. Zetterlund's going for 5 minutes for fighting. And Marchand also gets a roughing penalty to be served by JVR. Which means we are battling two straight minutes of a 5-on-3. And God bless us, we kick ass on that penalty kill. Well, taking 26 penalties in the last 5 games and allowing 5 goals and allowing 5 power play goals in that span, frustrating. We should not be taking 5 penalties a game. I say this as we then take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We take 8 penalties in this game. But yeah, we should not be taking 5 penalties a game. And with a penalty kill this purportedly good, we should not be taking. We should not be allowing 5 power play goals in that span. But yeah, both teams kind of blow their load in the second period, because the third period, we have Matt Benning getting a admittedly kind of weak slashing call against Lindholm. Lindholm ends up blocking a shot later on and with his hand, and he ends up going down the tunnel. I really hope he's okay, because contrary to popular belief, Lindholm is playing amazing. It's just his amazing play has entirely been defensive. It's been defense, and sort of like Carlo, which means he's being subjected to the exact same ridicule that Carlo regularly gets subjected to. So we're on the power play, and Pasta just sets up. Pasta just lays it on Blackwood, and Zacha takes it, pulls it back, and chips it up over Mac Black for the third goal of the game. And that's basically it. Neither team really wants to do much in the last 15 minutes. The Sharks got completely caved in the second period. I think through the first 15 minutes, they only had 3 shots on goal. 3 shots on goal through 15 minutes. That's insane. But we end up with a must-need win. A win in a must-win game. Now, was this a game in which we faced the utmost of challenging opponents? No, we beat a bottom feeder, essentially. I'm not going, but I feel like not only do you have to say 2 points is 2 points is 2 points, it's considering what we've just had with 3 straight three straight regulation losses for the first time since April of 2022. Thanks Razor for that stat. I kind of remember that from the first season of Into the Den. So despite even though we've just lost three straight in regulation, and this is not necessarily the best team to be going up against, you still gotta have one of those games where you need where you have a not as hard of a time getting back into the swing of things. And what better team than the Sharks? Fun fact: I actually lost my friend $5 by telling him to bet on the Sharks because the Sharks. By telling him to bet on it against the Sharks because at that point the Sharks had been completely winless and they had just given up 10 goals in 2 straight games, and then they beat the Flyers that night. And I told him to bet the over because giving up 10 straight, giving up over 20 goals in 2 games, that's like damn, fantastic defense there. We're definitely gonna bet the under, and then the Flyers lost 2-1. Can't win them all, but we can win this one. And you know what? Sometimes that's what you need. Yeah. And honestly, more than anything, the chippiness of this game, it definitely served as a reminder of who we are. We got it, which I mean, apparently Coyle was laying hits in practice, which we need to. Which it's weird time to start doing it, but like we need to see that effort coming out. But overall, good effort, guys. Good effort. You went. You earned this one, and you know what? Can't wait to see you guys. Can't wait to see you guys play against Toronto on Saturday, and then I can't wait to see you guys play in person on December 3rd against Columbus again. Wonderful. Cool. But that's gonna be it for me tonight. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all on Saturday. Take care.